It's going Flowers, and welcome back to Hungary for Success with me, FoggyPlays, on FM21. Today we have potentially 3 games in the league, depending on how we do, because we could win the league today, even in the first game. So we're going to be taking on Ferencvaros, potentially Honvéd, and potentially Puskás Academia. Either way, we're going to maybe win the league. We'll have to wait and see what happens. If you do want to enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Now let's get into it. So since you were here last, we've been busy. You see, we skipped 2 months. It's because we were going to come back for the Ferencvaros game, decided against it because I accidentally played it off recording. So we're just going to play these 3 games today. As I said, but potentially. So since we're here, we beat Haladas, and then we beat Ferencvaros in the first leg of the Hungarian Cup quarter-final. Unfortunately, we did lose on away goals, but Shvanaro sent off in the 51st minute. Not ideal. We did beat Újpest, drew with Kisvárda. Kisvárda seemed to be a team this season we can't beat, which is very frustrating. Okay, we beat them 3-0 there, but that's beside the point. Absolutely demolished Peksh, beat Meshkoved, MTK, Pax, and Ferencvaros in our most recent games. As you can see, Mandira, 91st minute winner. It was divine. But today we're taking on Ferencvaros, Honvéd, potentially Honvéd, and potentially Puskás Academia. We have a 5-point advantage over Ferencvaros, so a win today guarantees us the league, which would be fantastic. We were as low as 3rd at one point this year, but we have been on top for quite a length of this season. I think it's Újpest against Ferencvaros in the final. We could have beaten Újpest, but what can you do? Euro Cup, how has that actually been going? Real Madrid plays Sevilla and Inter after beating Lazio, so I'm quite happy with how we did in the Europa League and the Champions League. But I didn't even need it. Oh, Kisvárda relegated. Get in. Honvéd have also gone down, so that's delightful. I didn't even notice that was after happening. But for today's game, we have the task remains simple. Win against Ferencvaros, we will be crowned champions. And this is how we're lining up for the game today. We have Hut Wagner back in goal. He's been actually doing quite well recently, which last year would not have been in any doubt that he was our starting goalkeeper. This year, he's struggled an awful lot. He does have 2 other players that challenge him for his position now, and he's actually stepped up a little bit. Enjo and Rentira are going to start as our wingbacks. Christian Mark and Barriero as our centre back partnership. Christian Mark 6'6", and alongside him Barriero 5'10". We've the little and large partnership. The little is a little bit bigger than I'd like. Traore and Kovic as our centre midfield. Versace and Abe as our wide men. Mendoza and Savov up front. We do have a couple of suspensions and injuries, unfortunately. Pirlevsku is suspended. Derek is out for 6 weeks with a lower back stress fracture, which he picked up in training. I think it was training. And Joanaro, who was out for 8 months after damaging his cruciate ligament. That's not ideal. We did actually. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention: we had our youth intake. The youth candidates are leaving, the ones that haven't signed. But we did bring in. Oh, no, just here. We did bring in a couple of them. So it is these guys. We brought them in. As you can see, pretty decent potential. This guy, Attila Falusi, is the best of them. Centre back, had 5-star potential. Right, he started with 4-star potential. We signed him, had 5-star, dropped down to 4-star again. We'll see what they get on. To be fair, the rest of them, just like Toth is a decent centre back, potentially. Not overly fussed about him, and Magyari is a 3.5-star potential right back. The other one is just goalkeeper and something else, left winger or something, I think. Not too fussed about that, but Mendoza has picked up a bit more interest from clubs recently. He's now got Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, and Paris Saint-Germain. So it looks like we're going to be losing him this summer. So Mandira is going to probably end up staying in the team. even though he's not really progressed. He's 21 now. He's not getting any better. Still says he has 4-star potential, which, I don't normally give too much towards the stairs. But, maybe. So we've told the lads we have faith in all of them because I believe we can win this game. We're on a fantastic run of form recently. 5 wins in 5. Whereas Ferencvaros, I think they've drawn a couple of games recently. One game recently. They're playing with Bolly up front. I would have hoped at this stage Bolly would have left. I keep saying it every time we play them. I really wish Bolly had just gone to LA Galaxy all those years ago when they offered him. But he hasn't, and I don't think he's ever actually going to leave Hungary at this stage because he's in his 30s and the game had a little bit of a freak out there. Versace's actually been in decent form recently. Like you might remember, not too long ago he was playing a 6.5 average. Came back in from an injury and has been doing quite well. And he got very unlucky not to score there. We're only 8 minutes in, and we've had 2 pretty decent opportunities. Abe with the corner gets cleared, and now Ferencvaros were through, but Enjo says not today. Getting a nice little opportunity. I started him in this game instead of Vlek. I was going to say that's a very strange way to start a highlight with them scoring. Many of their players were offside. Bolly wasn't offside though. Not quite sure if that was actually should have been given as an offside. If that was the other way around, I'd be quite annoyed. But it isn't, so I'm happy out. Not going to worry too much about it. Versace's got the ball. Finds Kovic, who is booked. Abe picks it up. Out wide. Gets it across. Oh, Savov. Nikola Savov. 3.8 million. The record signing for the club. I think that's his 6th league goal of the season. And his 11th overall. So he's been in pretty decent form, you could say. That was a nice, cheeky little goal for him. Abe with another corner. Mendoza's put it just wide. Mendoza's definitely picked up his form since Savov has come in because himself and Mandira are very, very similar players. Having 2 of our main strikers being pretty much the exact same really did not help. But Enjo finds Rentira, who absolutely smashes it. The wing backs combine to get us our 2nd goal of the game. And as the commentary down the bottom says, 1 hand on the title. Could we win our 2nd league title in a row and then not have to watch any of the other games? Because actually Pushkash up to 5th. They've done quite well. Mendoza finds Enjo and Savov puts it just wide. We're coming up on half time. Ferencvaros with a free kick. Christian Mark wins it. Mendoza is absolutely flooded by players. Versace cuts inside, 15th of the season. I did consider selling him in January. I'm glad I didn't. Because the man has been lethal this year. Or, well, especially since January. It's been insane. But we are 3-0 up going into halftime. Things are looking pretty good. I'm going to pump my fists and say, the pundits, okay, they like the pundits. Hood Wagner, not so much. Hood Wagner is not a big fan of media. It's fine. Our centre backs are struggling a little bit, but I don't think they've had an awful lot to do. Kovic is not having the greatest of games. And he's booked. I feel like just take him off. Divic is going to come on instead. Going to give him a little bit of a have faith in you, motivated him. That's all you want to see. It's perfect. Chuck a bit of praise at them just after half time. And Ferencvaros have possession. Please don't let this be one of those things where the game ends like 3-3 and we have to play the next game because it's not guaranteed. Although we have a very good goal difference, if I'm not mistaken. We're leaving it all. Savov steals the ball away from a poor pass by one of their midfielders, and Savov, 12th of the season. He's really, really trying to get to 15 goals for the season. I think he's got like a 35k bonus if he does. we have the money. If he's scoring the goals, I'm happy to pay it. But we've spent quite an amount of money on facilities recently, so we're kind of looking to save some money where we can. So if we don't have to pay a player, oh, Versace is true, and again puts that one over. I'm so glad Kishverda and Hanvid have both been relegated. Like, I've not against Hanvid, I just don't like them, and Kishverda just annoying me. Our defence absolutely cut open by one of the Ferencvaros players. Nothing comes of it though, which is absolutely fine. Abe cuts inside, running onto the wrong wing, takes a pop shot, and Dibish has absolutely nothing to worry about. That was a mediocre at best shot. Enjoy. Really kind of letting me know that he's actually a really good player and should be in the first team. Somehow Mendoza is actually after getting there. Savov hits one of the defenders, Abe, Rentira. Everyone's taking pop shots. Now Bali has it, Enjoy. Doesn't get booked. It's like the second or third time he's done that now. Seems to be getting away with it. So maybe they'll be talking about how the referee was favouring the... Oh, what a terrible pass. What a terrible pass by Christian Mark. We are very, very lucky not to have conceded there. Wagner keeps his clean sheet for now. I'm going to take Christian Mark off because that was absolutely shocking. Pushkash is going to come on. We're going to take off Abe and bring on Carlsberg, because I think Carlsberg could be a difference maker. Abe not having the greatest of games. I still get to be fair, actually a really good game, but he's just not been involved as much as I would like. So we're going to chuck a bit more praise at the lads. If it stays as it is, we're champions. There's 6 minutes left, plus whatever they add on. Shouldn't be too much. 2 minutes. And the game is over. We've won the league. We are champions of Hungary yet again. Get in there, my friends. We've won. Oh. Chef's kiss. Beautiful game. Versace is going to be lofting the trophy above his head. I hand it over. Versace's like, oh, thanks. And oh yeah, champione, champione, ole, ole, ole. Fantastic. So it's back-to-back league wins. What more could you possibly ask for? Savov is inspired by the fact that he came into a team that was already on top of the league, and somehow we've defied the odds and won the league, having been top. You know, it's all down to him. That's partly what he thinks. He's a very interesting character, shall we say. So that is that. What I'll do is I'll bring you back at the end of the season, so you can have a look at the final 2 games of the season results, and we'll have a look and talk about what I think we're going to be trying to sign for next season, where I think we can strengthen. We'll have to see, because Mendoza is definitely gone. Mendoza is not going to hang around. Those clubs chasing him, definitely not staying. So we will be back in just a second. Oh, domination. We've gotten a Steam achievement. Yeah. Right, so we are going to be back in just a second to have a look at the end of season, or the last 2 games of the season's results, and what I think we're going to be signing in the summer window. Right, fellas, so the final 2 games have been played after we confirmed the fact that we were Hungarian league champions. Hanvid and Pushkash Academia won both games. The game against Pushkash was a little bit closer than I would have liked, but Kishverda and Hanvid both get relegated. Pax survived Peksh getting 8th and Haladas 9th. That's quite good seasons for them. Meshkoved finishing 7th. Ujpest could make it into Europe and knock MTK out if they can beat Ferencvaros in the final. And to be fair, Ujpest have won it as recently as 2017-18. So we'll have to see if they get on. But yeah, we did win the league comfortably in the end. But we did say we're going to come back and see what we were going to do transfer-wise, because finances, we did get about 2 million-ish, and 95k, give or take. We have made one signing so far. We're bringing a new performance analyst in. We're signing this 15-year-old from Hungary because he looks pretty decent. Really good technique, good first touch, quite brave, good determination, flair, physically has a lot to work on. But he's only 15. Came through their youth intake recently. We're paying 250k for him, but I think he's going to be worth it. You know, we'll see what happens. He's not obviously not going to be in the first team for a while, but what do I think we're going to need in terms of players? Well, I'm happy with the goalkeepers. Left back is fine. Centre back could maybe do with a higher higher level player. Because Christian Mark, Barriero, Pushkash, Derek are a decent four. Wouldn't mind getting someone a little bit better. Right back, I think we're fine. Fleck is going to be the future. Pirlescu is the right now. In terms of midfield, could probably do it like an extra body in there because Monaro is going to be out for the majority of next season as well. Versace is kind of a winger, so I don't really want to be playing out him there when we're kind of struggling for right wingers as it is. But we do have Edison Kuba who can play there. Riffin might have to learn how to be a right winger to get into the first team. Abe and Carlsberg as their left wingers that's pretty nailed on. Versace can play there. Again, not ideal. He is a right winger in this team. In terms of strikers, Savov, Mendoza, Mandira. They're and Tedic is still under contract. He's not really been given an opportunity so far this year, but he could get an opportunity next season. I am weary that we're going to lose Mendoza because there's many teams after him. There's big teams. We're not going to be able to turn down offers that they make. I think Abbey might have no. Abbey's got no interest in him, but we do have some potential. I'm not sure what to do about Joel Tape because he is a star player on a decent amount of money. He just hasn't wowed me so far. So if someone comes in and offers money for him, I definitely would say yes. He's only 19, so there's plenty of time, and he doesn't speak Hungarian. So he's only been here 120 days. Been here like 3 months, 4 months. So we give him the benefit of the doubt. Dehu Traore, again, another player who we signed in January. Plenty of potential. Hasn't really played. He's got basic Hungarian already, but he's again a player who's kind of struggled a little bit. I'm not sure. I think Derek might be. I don't know. There's every player is available to be sold. I think Ongard has after 4 seasons has seen the end of his time at the club. Did pick up a major injury, so missed quite a portion of the season. Marcelo Suarez, again, another player. I've thrown him up on the loan list in January. Literally, nobody wanted him. So that was a little bit frustrating. But we have Gerardo Silva, who doesn't actually have interest in him at the minute. Normally, there's like a little bit of interest in him. Pirlescu as well. Doesn't have any interest in him at the moment. Pushkash does, though. We've already looked at Mendoza. Suarez has no interest in him whatsoever. Zoltan Katona is an interesting one because I like him. I think he's a good player. But if someone came in and offered me 750,000 for him, would I be able to turn it down? I don't know. He's played a lot of games in the last 2 seasons. He's a decent player to have in central midfield. I don't know if he's good enough to play regularly. Our B team is just full of trash, really. It's just players. We use it as a way of getting players fit. I think Lucas Beltran, I'm kind of torn on this guy. I think he could still be quite good, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he's been surpassed by other players. In the under 19s, we don't really have a massive amount of players in here that I look at and go, these guys need to be in our first team. Like Felusi, probably going to give him a chance in a couple of seasons. Same with Giorgio Simon. Fakete. If someone comes, I think I've agreed with him like a $250,000. We'll sell him. I have a $250,000 offers and I've rejected. So, but like Gave, Nagy, Toth, we've already looked at Kuba. Nobody else in here is really like I signed a lot of these players from like Peschlin. I think he's been here 4 seasons. Has not even had a sniff of the first team. So I can't imagine he's going to get too many opportunities. But actually, I think he played a cup game and scored for us. Yeah, but came off the bench in a cup game and scored. So players in here that could, like Loritz is another player who could come into the first team for next season. We see how he gets on. Bene probably is going to leave his contract run out. Zima, you might remember, played him a couple of times in the first season, first 2 seasons. Just kind of sent him out on loan for the last 3 years and forgot all about him. His contract is expiring, so we're going to be losing him, but I don't think we have to worry too much. So for the next episode, we're going to come back, and it is going to be the end of season review and the transfers we do up to the point of the first Champions League game, because we have gotten ourselves into the European Champions League Champions Path first qualifying round again. So who did we play? I can't remember who played in the first Champions League. So it was Riga last season. We could play any Champions team that doesn't get into the first, or doesn't get into like a higher qualifying round. So that should be an interesting game. We're 29th in the, we're behind the Kazakh Premier League. How are we behind the Kazakh Premier League? That is no bueno. But that is where we're going to end this episode. Hodzik, most goals for Sachi and Mandira, finishing second, third. Savov with the highest ever rating though. That's beautiful. I think there's a good chance he'll be signing of the season. We've signed a lot of players though. We'll have to wait and see. Leave your comments down below. Who do you think is going to get all the awards? If there's a specific player you think of when you look at the awards ceremony, or the awards like best signing, player of the year, all that good stuff. If there's anyone that pops to mind, write it down in the comments below, and we'll find out in the next episode if you were right. So if you have enjoyed this episode, do make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with all of your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!